long story short, I've been sent this clip a bunch of times, so here we are. We're finally reacting to it.
Why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women.
This is why you wanted me to react to this? Because I've been farming retards.
I take care of people with different identities.
Got it.
And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth.
That's a simple question.
Can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is
Oh my god, shut up. Jesus Christ. Again, this is like when you ask Echo a question and it, or fucking whatever you use, some sort of clanker, and it keeps like regurgitating what you're saying back. It's so stupid. It's crazy that we've come to this point where we use ideologies and try to push ideologies instead of actually defining what a fucking female and male is. There's two default genders, and if you can't see that, then we have a problem.
I'm not really sure what the goal of the question.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Her words?
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities,
my
but
Can men get pregnant?
I take care of many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
Can
She's a doctor, by the way. We need to get rid of her. If we have people in the medical field not knowing what a fucking man or a woman is and can't define whether a woman or a man can get pregnant, we have a problem. That means these people are using political views as a way to fucking answer scientific questions. So let's say something a caveman would know this. A caveman would know that if you put a penis in another male caveman, you wouldn't get pregnant. If cavemen know this, and you don't, then you're either lying or you're actually retarded. And you would technically be both because you would be retarded for lying in front of the Supreme Court. You're dancing around words. You're doing everything you can to please both sides because you're afraid of fucking feedback. But the truth is, people are gonna hate you more when you're dishonest. And this is a dishonest doctor that was brought up by retarded people who think there's 20 genders. So now she has to defend their side. You can't defend stupid. It doesn't work that way.
again, as I'm saying.
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. Can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and
He
evidence
said you're a doctor, I think.
should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
He looks like
I
he's
also
trying
think
not to
yes,
laugh.
No questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes, no questions are about the
Political
truth, doctor.
tool.
Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical.
Yeah, because here's my take on it. It's really simple. If you're a doctor and you can't decide what a fucking man or a woman is, how are we going to protect women's rights? Why do we even fight for women to vote if you can't define what a woman is? You're lying. That's why.
Hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant?
We've come down to this.
That's a
guys.
yes or no question. It
Here we
really
go.
is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not.
No one's trying to reduce any complexity. You're making it complex by fucking not answering yes or no. It's funny when people do this. When you say something and then the other person goes, I think you're trying to say this. No, I just said this. You don't have to explain what the fuck I'm saying. This is ridiculous. People like this don't deserve to be in the medical field. She needs to lose her license. These people need to go. These people need to leave. That's end of story. You don't like what I have to say? Then you're part of the fucking retarded group of people that believe there's 20 genders. I am fucking sorry. You are mentally ill. And go ahead, do what you want with your life. I'm not gonna go out there and tell you how to live it, but I'm still gonna be the one calling you retarded. So, if you're gonna take this and put it into the Supreme Court and try to convince everybody that has a logical mind that that men can get pregnant, we have a problem.
Reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
Jeez.
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with.
No, I'm not conflating male and female.
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like to me.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying.
You're having one right now. You're avoiding the conversation because you have an audience. You're literally lying in front of an audience to look good, which makes you look bad because you're a fucking dumbass. You want to tell the truth behind the scenes because they don't want you don't want them to know what you actually think. Or no, you're a fucking doctor. You know what a male and female is. You're just scared to offend mentally ill people. I'm sorry. And if you're going to tell me there's people that identify as a man who can get pregnant, that's not a biological man or biological woman. Otherwise, this conversation wouldn't even be happening.
Trying to be polarized and
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask. I think it is extraordinary that
We're
we are
past this.
here and hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also,
We are here about the safety of women and
Exactly.
science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times
11%?
greater than the FDA label. Another fact
11% is huge. That is huge. Holy shit.
you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously.
We can't. We can't. That's why this is trending. That's why people sent me this video. You can't. You can't take people like this seriously, and you shouldn't. They don't even deserve to be on a stand. The only way I can see this happening is the only reason they should be on the stand right now talking to Supreme Court is to expose how retarded people like this are, and to show that there's people who are in the medical field who can't define what a biological woman and a biological male is. At some point, if you keep using your political ideologies to make determinations on how to proceed, as a fucking doctor, at some point it's going to be malpractice. That's how it works. Because if you are using politics to determine what you should do with science, then we have a problem. If you're choosing politics over science in the medical field, we have an issue. Because in the medical field, you can't have religion determine things. You can't have political ideologies determine things. It has to be science and science only. And if you are a person of science, you would know, actually, fuck science. If you're a smart person that's logical, that's not afraid of other people's opinions, mentally ill people's opinions, then you're gonna say there's biological males and biological females, and a biological male cannot get pregnant. Oh my god, he said the thing! Jesus fucking Christ. I thought we were past this.
You seriously, and your claims to be a person of science, if you won't
Exactly.
level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this.
We
frankly.
are.
I can't believe we're still
That's
here
what I just said. We are.
talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also
That is logic. There's nothing polarizing about logic unless you are a liar. The only time it's polarizing is when you're in denial and you don't want to accept the truth. The reason it's polarizing is because it separates liars from truthers, guys. This is ridiculous. I don't even know what to say. Like, her face says it all.
by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to
For
women
women.
in a variety of circumstances as women.
That's exactly what I said earlier. If you can't define what a man or a woman is, then you can't have rights to protect women. How can you protect women if you can't define what a man or a woman is? It's literally that simple. So, like, she's coming up here as an expert, showing how fucking stupid experts really are. So don't ever believe the word expert, guys. It's not how that works. Experts are just other people, too. Yeah, they might be in a medical field, and you might not be, but at some point in time, you're gonna realize moments like this happen, where you don't need a fucking piece of paper saying you're a doctor to know what a man or a woman is. And you are smarter than this lady. If you're sitting at home right now, eating a fucking burrito with some fucking Cheez-It stains on the couch, just cheesy fingers, maybe Doritos, right? You got those fucking red lips because you got the hot Cheetos, and now you gotta go take a shit on the toilet and you're watching this on your phone right now. You're still smarter than this lady if you know what a man or a woman is.
Refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust.
She should be ashamed.
To constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people.
Sorry, I moved down.
In this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science.
That's it.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this.
He did a great job. Yeah, she needs to go. People like this need to go. I would happily take an illegal immigrant any day and deport this bitch. Like, if you're this retarded and you grew up here and fucking became a doctor here and all that, you don't deserve to be here. You're a disgrace to the country. You're a disgrace to logical people. You're a disgrace to scientists. You don't deserve to be a fucking doctor. That doctor, people like you make the word doctor meaningless. If there's enough retarded people as doctors, the word doctor is going to lose its meaning. That's just how it is. And if you have people like her in the office saying there's like fucking 20 genders, 50 genders, versus biological, then we have a problem. When you are born, it's like a fucking video game, guys. You get 2 genders, unless it's made by Ubisoft. It's 2 default genders, and you know what they are. I don't have to tell you. This isn't school. You shouldn't have to be taught that. If you're part of my audience and you're my viewer and you're watching this later, you're not that stupid. But, yeah, there's default genders. Now, after that, right? After the default characters, you add DLCs, right? You add a penis. You might want to change her or him to the opposite gender. That is a customization. That's not biological. That wasn't the default. So some people can customize the characters, right? In real life. So right now, if you put a fucking dress on a pig, it's still a pig with a dress. It's not a fucking lady. That's not how that works. This is stupid. That's absolutely not how it works. Now, here's my other example. You put the word doctor in front of a retard. She's still a retard. That's it. That's all I gotta say. You know what, editors? End it on that.
It's a new year, new life, new tears, new friends, same love. But I'm glad you're here, you're mine, my dear. I see you